Here we are today with our Lunch and Learns and our videos on our website. Today we've got a very trusted friend of mine, but also a licensed appraiser, Posey O'Kane. Posey and I have known each other since 2003, 2004, something like that?
1999.
1999. Time flies when you're having a good time. You know, in today's world, we have such a hard time with appraisers. Appraisal process, maybe I should say that. And so Posey's here to kind of answer and talk about how the appraisal process in today's world works. It's not like the good old days. And we're going to talk a little bit about, and we're going to, forgive me, but we're going to stick to kind of fourplexes because that's our strongest point here. Multifamily and how we get good appraisals from multifamily, both from the appraisal side and from the agent side. In addition, you know, we're going to kind of talk about what's going on out there. So Posey, introduce yourself first off. You've got your own company now.
Hello, I do. D. O'Kane and Company, LLC. I've been an appraiser since 2000?
1999.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But licensed since then.
Yeah.
And done a lot of work with Linda over the years. And that's...
So here's the thing, Posey. You know, back in 2003, 4, and 5, we worked together quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And in those days, you know, we could kind of guide the lender to the appraiser that we like to use. And it's not the fact that I would ask Posey to falsify or change an appraisal or anything like that, but it's a matter that we're all a team here. Whether it's the appraiser, whether it's a lender, inspector, agent, buyer, and seller. You know, it's our job to get the deal done. So back in the day, there were times that I'd say, hey, Posey, what do you think about this number on this fourplex? Is that not correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we'd kind of off the cuff go, yeah, we can probably hit that number, right?
Being honest, yes.
Yeah, being honest. In today's world, I can't pick up the phone and say, put Posey as my appraiser on the deal. So how does that work today?
Well, since either 2009?
I think it was about 2009.
2009, UAD. 2009? Yeah, that's when things kind of changed where you are on a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get somebody who's competent or not.
Yeah.
And because it's all randomly selected.
Right.
Supposedly.
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 Right. So it's kind of interesting because before we started this video, you and I were just kind of rehashing good old times and our relationship and stuff like that. But in today's world, you know, the lender requests an appraiser and they almost roundtable it and give an appraiser assigned. Great for a single family, but in multifamily, it's a little bit different animal. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we do here at Gerchick Real Estate is that we meet the appraiser with comps, with capital improvements, with copies of the leases, copies of the contract, and hand a package to them with a Starbucks.
And a blueberry muffin.
And a blueberry muffin for the scalp.
Right.
Grab my phone, it's gonna ring. Grab my phone. Grab my phone, take it out. Sorry, my phone's trying to ring here. There we go, thanks. Thank God. So the point of that is that in today's world, and I've experienced it myself, an appraiser who really doesn't understand rental property.
Right, incompetent, yeah.
Incompetent. And as we kind of sit and we talk back and forth and stuff like that, what are some of the things that you like to see from an agent?
From an agent?
Sure. When we go, hey, we've got a fourplex to do.
We need rents.
Okay.
We typically will get the contract through the lender.
But we always make sure you've got it anyway.
And you've got all the addendums, all the counters, everything.
Yep, full contract.
And that's good.
How about all the pages of the leases?
Thank you. Yep.
And
the historic rent, naturally.
We call that, in commercial, we call that a trailing 12.
Okay.
Yep.
Rent roll, basically.
Yep, trailing 12 rent roll.
Any leases as far as chattel?
Right.
As laundry leases, anything like that, that's good to get.
Exactly. How about if it has other income, maybe a cell tower or...
Right, same thing with...
We see that once in a while in fourplexes now.
Yeah, that would be the
We
same.
love that, by the way.
Yeah, they get a percentage of whatever, yeah.
What about that we give you our comps? Now maybe my comps aren't the ones you want to use, but isn't it nice to have somebody that can say, take a look at these?
We always take them. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I always take them.
I will say you do. I've had appraisers that actually get offended when I hand them
Oh,
a
no,
package.
no, I'll take anything that you're given.
There you go.
Trust me, just
Yeah.
because it's two sets of eyes.
Well, and two sets of eyes, hopefully experienced eyes, make a
Right,
difference.
right.
And what about entrance into the fourplex?
Thank you, thank you.
So let's talk about that. What works for that and what doesn't work?
The 48 hour.
Yeah, we have to do 48 hour.
It does work, typically.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can get in sooner,
Sometimes, you
depending
know.
on the management company and everything else.
Those Starbucks gift cards work well with tenants sometimes.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What about though if you can't get in? Do you have to come back?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that cost the buyer additional money.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, just so you know, when I write a contract as a buyer's agent on a fourplex, I actually write in the contract that if we do not have full access to the entire property for appraisal and inspections, that guess what? The seller's going to pay that cost.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how quickly we get access. It's called motivation.
Right, and a trip charge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're gonna charge them $100 each time you have to go back,
Sure.
they'll probably.
And so
go back.
as we move forward there, you know, so we get access, hopefully we get the information we need from property management to give you that. But as we know, in the state of Arizona, we have to give all tenants a 48-hour notice. And once they've been served correctly with a 48-hour notice, the property manager, not me, because I don't do property management, but property management has the complete legal right to drill the locks and go in. And anybody that knows me is, I'll tell property management, call your maintenance guy, we're going in.
And that's extra expense for the buyer,
Sure
seller,
it is.
whoever, yeah.
And tenants seem to always change the locks when they move in, and I don't really blame them. They don't know who those keys have gone to.
Right.
But, you know, it's property management's responsibility to make sure that we get in there.
Yes, and it's illegal to change the lock without giving them a key.
It is illegal, but they do it all the time.
Right, right.
You know? So, we've got some people in the room here. Let's have somebody pose you a question so that we can kind of cover maybe something that I'm not thinking about.
How long does it take you to complete everything from beginning to end, assuming that you have everything you need?
Oh, that's a good question.
As far as the appraisal part?
Yes.
2 hours?
Well, I do enjoy that form, so a few hours.
A few hours.
If I'm scheduled for one fourplex on one day, it'll be there that day.
And that's amazing because, you know, we're all kind of twiddling our thumbs waiting for the appraisal number so we know if we're going to appraise to value. Do we need to renegotiate? Does the buyer have to come in with more cash? Whatever it is there. But if we don't have that number from the appraiser, we're dead in the water. We're twiddling our thumbs until you get the appraisal to the lender.
And a lot of people are intimidated
Yeah.
by the 1025.
And explain what a 1025 is.
It's a small residential income property appraisal,
Yeah, and it's
2 to 4 units.
2 to 4 unit, very easy,
Well,
I think.
I think so too, but a
How
lot of people.
detailed is this form for most appraisers?
Oh, it's pretty complex, but it dictates the data. It dictates what your value is going to be.
So if you're
It's
getting a
not
residential
subjective.
appraiser who has not much experience with that, what is the difference between someone who does a lot, or can they get it done, or is it?
They can, but they have to keep the subjectiveness out of it. It's an income producing property. It's not a single family home. It's two different animals.
So in commercial appraisals, you know, which are different, by the way, and they don't get done in 4 hours. But the point is that, you know, we have the cost approach, we have the income approach, we have the market approach, and all of those are kind of blended into the same. But when you're doing a residential fourplex as an appraisal, that's not quite the case, is it?
No, it's got a built-in 216 or 1007. Rent schedule is built into the form itself, and then there's an ancillary form, which is the 216, the income, operating income statement.
Operating income.
Yeah.
So you need to know how much it costs to run this fourplex.
Well, and you also have to see everything that is going to be on that form.
Sure.
Your stove, in each unit, how many
Right.
there are, et cetera, and their remaining an economic life and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, and so we call that chattel or cost segregation, which we have a whole other series about that on our website. But that being said, if you have everything from an agent that you need, don't you kind of hope that you get that agent on another deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as an agent, and again, I'm a CCIM, so I hand spreadsheets, How about a list of capital improvements that's been done to the property,
Mhm.
you know? You're not gonna crawl up on a roof, I hope. I don't.
I kind of get in the attic if it's an FHA.
Yeah,
That's
if
just
it's
required.
FHA, but the point is, if you know that there's a new roof that's been
Oh,
put
yeah,
on,
yeah, makes it
or,
simple.
or a new electrical panel or
Mhm.
something like that, well, there's your upgrades to
Thank you.
substantiate whatever number that we're striving for.
Right, right,
Okay.
exactly.
So what if we don't have a loan? Okay, there's projects that we do that there's a cash, but the cash buyer wants an appraisal. Then I pick up the phone and I call Posey,
Mhm.
and you've done that for me
Mhm.
many times over the years. And so when we're doing that, we're not trying to stretch an appraisal, we're not trying to lowball the appraisal, we just want to know that the property's worth what we are hoping to pay for it.
And you will get an honest
Exactly,
opinion of
even though
value.
you're my buddy, you're still gonna.
Right.
There's been times that Posey's called me and go, Linda, you're smoking crack here. You know, and guess what? We went too high and hopefully we can renegotiate, you know? You did an appraisal measurement for us a couple of months ago.
Mhm.
The tax records were
Mm,
different
mhm.
from what was actually on the property.
Yes,
And we knew that.
much different.
But appraisers, by the way, trump tax records.
Yes, absolutely,
Yes.
yeah.
So we hired Posey during the listing process, we were listing agents, to go out and give us a measurement. Well, that really helped us when we got to the contract because we could prove then that, I forget how many square feet larger.
600
600 square feet
larger
on a single-family
on an
home.
1,800 square foot home.
Yeah, so that was a big deal. But you know what's funny? The appraiser that buyer, not my client, brought in, underappraised the property and wouldn't take that 600 square feet. We had a heck of a time on that deal.
It was a complex
Mhm.
measure, but they should know how to do that.
They should.
They should know.
And so just from negotiating from my side, our contract price was X amount of dollars. Their appraisal came in down here and as a
Based
list-
on the tax records.
Based on the tax, and we handed them your report, obviously. So I smiled at the agent and said, tough, here's our number, we're 4 deep in contracts, what do you want to do? And the buyer paid overappraised price for it. Frankly, I think the agent should have taken a hold of whoever they brought out to appraise it and explained some facts of life to them. Not my job, I'm the seller's agent in that case.
Right.
So, that being said, I want you to understand that we've got the resources here for appraisers, whether you need them on a loan or not. Obviously, we can't pick Posey on a loan, but sometimes things come up, like a measurement, like
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Absolutely, I'm there.
I'm getting ready to refinance my house. I said, Posey, can you give me kind of an idea? I'm a biased party. I know what I would like it to see, everything that we owe on the house, but you know, I don't want to go down the process unless I kind of, just a ballpark figure of what I think I'm going to get. That's all. So on that note, thanks very much. Stay tuned. Our next Lunch and Learn is here at the office, and I'm going to teach you how to scrub and pull apart books and records and do a rent roll correctly for multifamily. Have a great day, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.